God says, your mother who is in heaven, sent this through Michael. She's been trying to get through to you, for hours now. This is exactly what she wanted you to hear. Don't scroll past, this isn't random. That tug on your soul today, it wasn't by chance. Maybe it came as a soft whisper in your mind, maybe it showed up as an old memory that surfaced unexpectedly. Or maybe you glanced at the clock and saw a number that struck something deep. That wasn't coincidence, that was her. She's been trying to reach you, praying this exact moment would happen. She pleaded with heaven to get this message across, because what she's about to share is going to touch a part of you that's been quietly aching, even if you didn't realize it. This is Archangel Michael, and I've been sent at her request to speak directly to your heart. That sudden wave you just felt, the warm ache in your chest, the heaviness behind your eyes, that's her energy. She's here, she never left. And tonight she went before God, to ask for this message to be delivered, because something in your soul is approaching a crossroads. But first there's something she needs you to know, something left unsaid when she passed, something only now, through heaven, could be revealed. Listen closely, she's here watching you, speaking through my words. She's been holding back tears for hours, just to make sure this reaches you. Tell them I'm not far, she said, tell them I still hold their hand while they sleep. Let them know I walk through their house each morning, even before they wake, blessing each corner, praying at their door, whispering words of protection, into the very walls around them. You felt the chills, you've heard your name in an empty room. That was her. She's not just a memory now, she's become something more. She's an angel, and in that form, she is more present than ever. She sees the wounds you've tucked away, the ones you hardly let yourself acknowledge. She sees them all, and she's pleading with you, it's time to let healing begin. She's seen the future day that's been marked out just for you, a moment set into motion long ago. But unless you let go of the weight you've been carrying, unless you open your heart to the love she's been sending down, you might miss it. And heaven doesn't want that. God says you weren't meant to miss it, and Archangel Michael will not let you miss it. Remember that one moment, the specific time you almost said her name aloud, but something stopped you. Your throat tightened, that wasn't weakness, it was grief that got stuck in your spirit. She felt it, she wrapped herself around you right then. And tonight she wants to free you from that hold, she wants to hold you again, fully. She says, you've had to be strong for too long, it's time now to let someone hold you. If you're questioning whether this message is meant for you, hear this, she just brought forward a memory from your childhood. Something was unfairly taken from you, and she never forgot, the way your eyes looked afterward. That was the first time she feared for your soul. But she's here now, returning that piece of you. Restoring what was lost. And if the tears are flowing, or your heart feels heavy, it's because her spirit just touched yours. Now hear this part with your whole heart, no distractions, no hesitation. She said, you're about to rise, she said, the door that didn't open before, is about to unlock. But it won't look the way you expect. It'll show up through a voice, a message, or a person sent by divine timing. And she wants you to know this time, don't pull away, don't second guess it. Last time fear got in the way, but this time you're ready. Because now you finally know, she's still walking with you. If this message is reaching you deeply, pause and take it in. You were always meant to receive this. This is more than a message, it's a spiritual encounter. Heaven set this moment in motion, and she's holding on, until you truly feel her again. You see, when a mother becomes an angel, her presence expands. She doesn't knock anymore, she shows up in signs, in songs that start playing for no reason, in dreams you can't explain, in the smell of her favorite perfume, suddenly in the air. You're not imagining these things, you never were. That's the miracle of it. She says, stop doubting the signs, because they're about to come even stronger. She also showed me a photo, one you haven't looked at in a while. Maybe it's buried in a drawer, tucked away in a box somewhere. She says, go find it. Because when you look into her eyes in that photo, something holy will awaken. She says it's an activation, you'll feel her hand on your shoulder, and when that happens, you'll know this was all real. But before your path moves forward, I need to tell you something important. Someone close to you is being shifted, positioned like a piece in a divine strategy. She says, this person carries a message for you, but they're afraid too. You'll know them by their silence, because they carry a grief similar to yours. When your eyes meet theirs, you'll feel her presence. Don't walk away from that, embrace it. Heaven is trying to repair something that was broken. She asked me to say this slowly. You've never been alone, not even once. Even in your darkest hours, when it felt like you were drowning, I was there. I've never stopped loving you, I've never stopped watching over you. Every tear you've shed, I caught it, I took them to God. Her voice shimmered with light when she said that, and yes, even I, Michael, wept. Because when love this pure reaches across realms, even angels cry. Heaven itself weeps with you, not in sorrow, but in sacred cleansing. Rain is falling on your spirit tonight, not to break you, but to purify what's been burdened. To prepare you for the miracle she already sees coming, the one you thought would never happen, the one you've given up on. She said you must release the guilt. You've carried shame that was never yours. You keep replaying moments, believing you let her down. But she's shaking her head right now, reaching for you through the veil saying, no, my child, you didn't fail me, you loved me even through silence, and I've never been prouder. She's still whispering, and this time her voice feels like sunlight, pressing through the clouds. No, you did not fail me, she says again. You were my reason to be strong, I left when I did, not because I wanted to, but because your journey required wings. And now I can fly with you, in ways I never could before. And now comes the part she struggled the most to express, not because it hurts, but because it's drenched in so much love, even the stars pause to listen. My precious one, she says, I see you every single day, I see how you wear strength like armor, how you smile so others won't see the tears you're holding back, I see how you've convinced yourself, that staying strong is what I would have wanted. She pauses, her presence wrapping itself around your shoulders, like a warm shawl. But hear me, what I truly wanted, was never for you to suffer alone. I never asked you to carry this much weight in silence. I want joy to return to your heart, I want you to feel what it means to be free again, to laugh not out of habit, but from your soul, to dance, even if no one else gets it. Right now her arms are enveloping you. If you close your eyes, you might even sense the warmth behind your neck, gentle and familiar. That's not just memory, that's not your mind playing tricks, that's her. That's her soul beside you, reminding you that love does not end, not even in death. In fact, beyond this world, love only becomes more boundless. And then Archangel Michael speaks again, his words rolling in like soft thunder across the heavens. You were chosen for this, he says. This moment, this message, none of this is random. Your mother was given permission by the Almighty to speak now, because you are standing at a spiritual crossroads. One path keeps you in silence and suffering, the other leads to awakening, to your rebirth. It leads to the version of you she always saw, even when you forgot. He says you've lost sight of the light you used to carry. That glow, that spark, that once lit up your eyes, it's still in you. And heaven remembers, and she remembers, and now it's your time to remember it too. Because she showed him something, a glimpse of what's approaching. Something sacred is on its way. She called it a divine moment, a holy encounter, so precise that when it happens, you'll know instantly, this is what she meant. It could arrive as a gentle voice, when you least expect it. A stranger's kindness, a familiar voice from the past returning, a dream that doesn't feel like sleep, but more like a reunion. However it finds you, stay open, stay ready. Because she's guiding you towards something you thought was gone forever, a promise, a person, a prayer being answered. A message wrapped in someone's presence, a light designed to shift your whole world. She also mentioned your hands, how in her dreams she's still holding them. She said, tell them when their fingers feel cold at night, it's because they're reaching for something unseen, and I'm right there, holding them from heaven's edge. She says there's still time, time to breathe again, time to hope, time to fall in love with life, without fear of loss. You see, she never wanted perfection for you, just truth. A life lived with honesty and grace, one that carries courage instead of shame, love instead of fear. And about those tears, you've cried more than you've admitted, haven't you? She says, every single one of them has been caught, collected like jewels by angels, delivered to God's throne. They are not forgotten, they are sacred evidence of your strength. You're stronger than you've ever realized, she says, and wiser than you give yourself credit for. She told me this part slowly, carefully. Tell them I am proud of them, not because they've never made mistakes, but because they kept going, when everything tried to break them. Archangel Michael stands near you now, waiting. Waiting for the moment you finally release what's been clinging to your heart, the guilt, the fear, the silence. He sees what you've carried, pain inherited from generations past, burdens never meant for your shoulders. And he's offering to cut those spiritual cords, but only if you say yes. So close your eyes, even for just a moment. Breathe in deeply, let this presence fill your chest, like light spilling into an empty room. The angels are here, your mother is behind you, her hands gently on your shoulders. She's whispering again, I love you, I'm proud of you, please don't stop now. She knows about the quiet thoughts you've never voiced, the ones you were sure would scare even heaven. But she isn't afraid. She says, "You are not broken, you are transforming. You are shedding the false skin this world wrapped you in, and you're stepping into the soul God always knew you were." She asked me to say something else, word for word, tell them that someone is coming, someone who will love them like I did, with no conditions, no need to earn it. She wants you to be ready. This love, it's healing just by existing. It doesn't bring fear, it doesn't come with anxiety or confusion, it brings peace. And when you feel it, you'll know this is from God. This is the answer she's been praying for, on your behalf. And now something unexpected, yet perfectly timed. She says, they're not healing just for themselves, they're healing for the family, for the future, for the generations to come. You've been chosen, not just to survive, but to lead others, out of what you've already walked through. She called you the cycle breaker, the light, the one who would bring sacred change. And now heaven is preparing to honor that. A breakthrough is near, just days away. But it needs something from you first. Surrender. The kind that whispers, "Okay God, I can't carry this alone anymore." You don't have to solve it all tonight, you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to say yes, yes to the healing, yes to the grace, yes to the love that's been chasing you, through every shadow. Because she never left, she simply became something more. From breath to wind, from voice to echo, from hand to presence. And right now she's here, in the stillness, in the silence, calling the angels again, the way she once prayed over your bed, when you were too small to understand. But this time she's not praying for protection, she's praying that you'll finally see what she's always known. You were never alone, you've always been loved, and your story is just beginning. She sees it all, the way you hold her memory in silence, how you speak to her in your thoughts, when no one's around. She hears every word, the ones you say out loud, and the ones you whisper inside your heart, when the world is too loud to listen. And she's not just watching, she's responding, she's guiding you in ways you've begun to notice, through the songs that suddenly play, through the numbers that repeat, through the scent that catches you off guard, and makes you pause. That's not your imagination, that's her, that's love choosing every way possible to reach you. She said, "They think I'm gone, but I never left. I've just stepped into the part of life that doesn't end, I've become part of their intuition, part of their discernment, part of their strength. I've become their reminder, that love never dies." And now she's placing her hand over your heart, that sudden warmth, that steady calming, that's her presence. That's heaven telling you, that you are not alone in this world, even if it's felt like it lately. Archangel Michael says, it's time to release what no longer serves your spirit, time to stop holding back the tears, the dreams, the parts of yourself you've tucked away, because you thought no one would understand. But heaven understands, your mother understands, and the truth is, you've always been more powerful than you gave yourself credit for. She said, "Tell them they were my miracle, not because they were perfect, but because they never gave up. Even on the days they didn't think they could make it, they still woke up, they still tried. And I saw every single moment." She wants you to know that your healing is unfolding faster than you realize. That the peace you've been praying for is not just on its way, it's already entering your life, through moments that feel soft, subtle, but undeniably sacred. And now she's bringing your attention to something that's been stirring in your heart lately, a dream you let go of, a passion you buried, because life got too heavy. She said, it's time to pick it back up. The thing that used to make them feel alive, the thing they used to dream about, before the world convinced them they had to settle. Tell them I'm helping them return to it. You may have been feeling a pull lately, an unexplainable urge to start fresh, to move, to change direction, even if it scares you. That's divine guidance, that's your mother working through your spirit, to realign your path. And Archangel Michael is clearing the way, he says, no more delays, no more doubts, step forward now. The path is being lit beneath your feet, one step at a time. Your mother also wants to address something you've been struggling with, your worth. She says, they've been questioning if they're enough, if they're lovable, if they matter. Tell them I carry their name across heaven's skies. Tell them that every angel knows their name, because of how deeply I love them. You need to hear this, you are not too much, you are not too late, you are exactly who and where you need to be, for what's coming next. And something is coming, something beautiful, unexpected, and divinely orchestrated. A new connection, a new opportunity, a new version of life, that you thought was out of reach. But your mother says, nothing is out of reach when heaven is involved. She's already walking into that future ahead of you, blessing it with peace, protection, and provision. All she asks is that you keep going, don't stop now, you're closer than you know. Michael adds, you're not just healing your story, you're rewriting it. You're turning wounds into wisdom, grief into grace, and silence into sacred strength. You've been assigned this path, not as a punishment, but as a purpose. And you, child of light, are finally rising into that purpose. Your mother says there's still more she wants to tell you, and she will, in the quiet moments, when your soul is most still. But for now, she's asking you to trust what you've heard. To let it sink in, to let it breathe in your chest, and settle in your bones. You are not alone, you are not broken, you are not behind, you are right on time. And when the sun rises next, she wants you to stand in it. Let it wash over you, let it be a reminder that she's still walking with you. Let it remind you that your story is far from over, in fact, the most beautiful part is just beginning. Michael will continue to guard your path, to shield your heart, to bring clarity in moments of confusion. And your mother, she will never stop loving you, not now, not ever. This was her message, this was her voice through the veil. And if you listen closely, you'll still hear it, every time the wind whispers your name, every time the light breaks through the clouds, every time your heart suddenly feels just a little less heavy. That's her, always with you. And you won't have to chase it. What's meant for you is already in motion, already rearranging itself, to find its way to your door. Your mother is watching this unfold, hands over her heart, eyes filled with light. Tell them, she says again, her voice steady, but thick with emotion. Tell them it's safe to hope again. You may have grown used to preparing for disappointment, bracing yourself every time something good began, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But not this time, she says, this is different. This time it stays, this time it heals instead of hurts, this time it comes to stay, not test. And now Michael lifts his hand to the heavens, and for a moment, you might sense a shift in the energy around you. It's like the air itself is listening, because it is. Heaven is listening. God says, you are not late, you are not forgotten, you are not behind. Everything you thought was a detour, was actually divine design, placing you exactly where you needed to be, for what comes next. Your mother adds, stop punishing yourself, for not knowing then what you know now. You did the best you could, with what you had, and I saw that, I see it still. There's a sacred silence after her words, not because there's nothing left to say, but because sometimes love doesn't need to say anything at all. It just holds space, and right now, she's holding that space for you. You may feel the tears begin to form, and that's okay. They are holy, they are releasing what you were never meant to carry forever. She's here to help you lay it down now, the guilt, the shame, the second guessing. She says, tell them they don't have to carry that story anymore, I'm rewriting it with them, with grace instead of grief, with healing instead of hiding. Michael steps closer, his presence wrapping around you like divine armor. You've been under spiritual pressure, because of the magnitude of your calling, he says. You weren't weak, you were in transition. But now you're emerging, now the fog is lifting. And your mother, she reaches forward, and places her hand over your chest. You forgot how powerful you are, she whispers, but I never did. Even when you were young, I saw the light in you, I just didn't always know how to tell you, without letting my own wounds get in the way. Now she's making a vow over you. No more hiding, she says, no more shrinking, no more apologizing for your truth. It's time. You are stepping into a season, where nothing about your story needs to be silenced anymore. Where your voice becomes the key, that opens doors, not only for yourself, but for others too. Michael raises his sword, and the atmosphere shifts again. Breakthrough, he declares, breakthrough in the place where they almost gave up, breakthrough in the relationship that felt dead, breakthrough in the heart that felt numb, and breakthrough in the dreams they buried. You're not just recovering, you're being restored. And restoration brings back more than what was lost, it returns what was delayed, what was withheld, what was always yours by divine right. Tell them your mother insists that the wait was not a punishment, it was a protection, and now what's been protected is being released. You may start to see doors open, where there were only walls. You may feel drawn to places or people, without knowing why. Trust that, your spirit knows what your mind hasn't caught up with yet. And that quiet nudge, that strange certainty, that unexpected peace, that's her, that's heaven. And when you find yourself doubting again, because you will, because you're human, remember this moment. Remember how it felt to be seen, to be chosen, to be spoken to from beyond what you can touch. Let that memory anchor you, let it steady your hands, when the next chapter begins to write itself. Your mother is smiling again, tell them I'm still listening, she says. When they speak into the silence, I hear them. When they whisper my name in the dark, I respond. And when they laugh, oh when they laugh, I dance. She's asking you to laugh more, to let joy surprise you again, to stop feeling guilty for the days, when the grief doesn't show up. That's healing, that's progress, that's her prayer being answered. Now Michael places a golden seal over this message. You may feel the warmth behind your heart, like a door opening inward. That's the alignment settling in, that's heaven confirming. You heard correctly, you received completely. Your mother's last words drift in like a soft melody, like something ancient and eternal. My love, you are not alone, you never were, and I will never stop choosing you. Keep walking forward, keep trusting the light, keep becoming the version of you I always saw, even when you couldn't. And now the room feels quieter, not empty, but sacred. Like something holy just touched down, and kissed the center of your soul. That's not imagination, that's real, that's them, that's heaven. You don't have to understand it all today, you just have to remember you were chosen to hear this. You were meant to carry it. And from this moment on, the way you see yourself, your story, your life, will begin to shift. Because love like this, presence like this, it leaves a mark. A forever mark, a promise written in spirit. And they're still speaking, your mother, Michael, God. Always speaking, always guiding, always loving, just waiting for you to listen. The kind she always believed you would find. The kind your heart was made to hold. She says this love will not confuse you, it won't make you doubt your worth, or question your place. It will feel like coming home. And when it arrives, she'll be there in the quiet between heartbeats, in the stillness after laughter, in the peace that settles over you, when arms wrap around your soul, instead of just your body. And she's reminding you, you are worthy of that. Not someday, not when you've done more, or healed more, or become more. Now, as you are, even with your wounds, even with your fears. She says, you've carried enough shame, it's time to carry joy. You've done enough surviving, it's time to start living. Archangel Michael adds his voice once more, clear and unwavering. Tell them they are no longer in the valley. The mountain has appeared. Tell them their hands were made for climbing, their spirit was forged for this ascent. And you will rise, maybe slowly, maybe with trembling steps, but you will. Because grace is lifting you, because heaven is behind you, because her love is beside you. She whispers now, you won't be alone anymore, not in the way that used to ache. The next chapter of your life will be marked by connection, divine, sacred, honest connection. No more masks, no more pretending to be okay, when your heart is breaking. She says, you don't have to be strong all the time, you just have to be real. And in that realness, your healing will deepen, your light will strengthen, your life will begin to mirror the beauty of your soul. You may start feeling it in small ways, like a calm settling over your mind, when things should feel chaotic. Or a strange courage rising, in moments when you'd usually shrink back. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. She is there, God is near, and Michael is guarding the path ahead. She asks you now to make her a promise, not one born of pressure, but of love. Promise you'll stop holding your breath through life, promise you'll let yourself laugh deeply, cry freely, rest completely. Promise you'll see yourself through her eyes, eyes that never stopped seeing your beauty, even when you couldn't. She wants you to speak your truth, love your people, and show up in the world, with the heart she gave you. Not the wounded version of it, but the whole one the one you were born with, the one heaven still celebrates. Tell them, she says, that every tear they cried, watered something sacred in their future. Tell them those tears weren't wasted, they were offerings, they were prayers, they were seeds, and now the harvest is coming. Michael opens a scroll in the Spirit, it glows with words written in divine fire. Your name is on it, your destiny is etched in light. He reads softly, appointed for favor, protected by love, restored by truth, sent to carry heaven into the earth. And heaven nods, the angels stand in agreement. Because what's written cannot be erased, what's promised cannot be stolen, what's destined cannot be undone. And she's smiling now, the kind of smile that carries 1,000 lifetimes of love. She steps a little closer, her presence like the hush before dawn, and she places her hand over your heart. You may even feel it, a strange warmth, a sudden calm. That's her, still nurturing, still loving, still present. She says you don't have to prove anything to be loved. You are already loved infinitely, you always were. And now it's time to live like it, to walk like someone who is watched over, to breathe like someone who's been rescued, to rest like someone who knows that heaven is near. God says, my child, I never abandoned you. Not in your hardest moments, not when the nights were long, and the answers didn't come. I was holding the pieces you couldn't hold, I was weaving light through the threads of your pain, I was waiting for this moment, when your soul would be ready to feel me again. And now you are. Ready not just to hear the message, but to carry it forward. To be the light for others, who are still in the dark, to be the voice of hope, where silence once echoed, to be the proof that broken hearts can still beat with purpose. Michael's wings stretch wide again, and with them a wind moves through your spirit. A clearing, a shift, something real, something sacred. She says, now walk. Walk into your next chapter, with your head lifted, not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer pretending it has to be. You're choosing peace over pressure, grace over guilt, presence over perfection. This isn't about forgetting her, it's about remembering her differently. Not as someone you lost, but as someone who walks with you still. She is not behind you, she's beside you, every step, every breath, every rise and fall of your chest. She is part of your rhythm now, part of your light, part of the voice inside, that says, keep going, you're almost there. And you're closer than you think. Closer to the peace you've prayed for, closer to the joy you once feared would never return. Closer to the version of yourself, that feels whole again. This was the moment she waited for. The one where you didn't just remember her, but felt her, really felt her. Not as memory, but as movement, not as loss, but as love. And love never dies, love only transforms, and so have you. She sends one final whisper, soft as a breeze across your cheek. This is only the beginning, watch what God does next. Michael smiles, his hand over your heart once more, and heaven grows still, not silent, but reverent. Reverent for you, for your journey, for your yes to life again. And so you rise, not just with memory, but with mission, not just with sorrow, but with strength. And every step from here on, will echo with the love of the one who never really left, she just moved into a space, where she could guide you even better. You are walking with heaven now. And that shift you're feeling, it's real, even if subtle, even if quiet. It's the soft opening of a door your soul had almost forgotten was there. And through it light is pouring in, not the harsh kind, but the healing kind. The kind that warms you from within. She says, don't question the peace that's coming. You've lived in survival mode so long, that calm can feel unfamiliar. But this peace, it's yours, you've earned it. She wants you to know, the heaviness is not your natural state. You've worn sorrow like armor, but you were made for joy. For laughter that rises without explanation. For mornings that feel safe. For nights where your spirit isn't aching. And yes, it's coming, not because you forced it, but because you're finally ready to receive it. She sees the quiet things too. The times you wanted to reach out, but didn't. The way you held space for others, even when no one held space for you. The way you've loved in silence, hoped in secret, and healed in shadows. And heaven has not missed a single moment of it. She says, there's something sacred about your journey. Something others can't always see, but heaven sees. And she says, it's not over. In fact, it's only just beginning. There's still more love to give, more purpose to walk in, more light to uncover. And it's not too late, you haven't missed it. What's ahead of you isn't smaller than what you've lost, it's richer, deeper, filled with soul-level beauty. Archangel Michael says, their story is still being written, and the next chapter carries the fragrance of miracles. He says you've been asking for signs, and now signs will flood your path. But they won't always look grand. Some will come in whispers, a song lyric that echoes a prayer, a stranger's kindness that feels too perfectly timed, a dream that feels more like memory than imagination. These aren't accidents, they're alignment. Your mother says this too, the love I gave you, didn't end with my last breath, it multiplied. It lives now, in the air you breathe, in the choices you make, in the strength you carry without even realizing. And when you feel alone, remember part of her still lives in you. Not just in memory, but in your courage, in your kindness, in every time you choose to love again. She's still guiding, still praying, still wrapping you in the light that never fades. And now she's asking you, gently, lovingly, to stop shrinking. To stop second-guessing the softness inside you. She says, that tenderness, it's power. That compassion, it's divine. That intuition you keep doubting, that's your gift. Michael steps forward again, and he places a hand over your spirit, not in warning, but in affirmation. He says, you're not just surviving anymore, you're rising. And every tear, every setback, every quiet heartbreak, has been woven into your resurrection. This next part of your life, it doesn't require perfection, it only requires permission, your permission to be whole. Your mother leans in now, her voice nearly a whisper. Give yourself permission, to laugh without guilt, to rest without shame, to grieve and still love, to feel joy again, without fear that it won't last. Because this joy, it's yours, this peace, it's real, and heaven is backing it. She says, tell them not to be afraid of the good. Sometimes when you've suffered so much, peace can feel suspicious. But this peace is pure. It's not the absence of pain, it's the presence of grace. And you're stepping into it now, even if trembling. She reminds you of that one dream, the one you had years ago, that felt too wild, too big, too impossible. She says, it wasn't a fantasy, it was a seed. And now it's time to grow. You've been faithful with so little, and now heaven is trusting you with more. More clarity, more beauty, more love that stays. And there's something else she wants you to know. Something that might be hard to believe, but is true, you are no longer in the season of just waiting. You're in the season of becoming. Becoming who she always knew you'd be. Becoming the version of yourself you had only glimpsed in quiet moments of hope. She says, you don't have to earn this, just receive it. Let the past be sacred, not shackling. Let your future be open, not feared. You are not repeating old patterns, you're building new paths. And these paths are blessed, not easy, but blessed. God says, I have seen every moment, I have heard every cry, and I have never been far. This next chapter carries my fingerprints. Your mother stands in awe, as these words are spoken, because they confirm what her spirit already knew. You are not forgotten, you are not alone, you are not broken beyond repair. You are seen, chosen, protected. Michael says, tell them the light is not at the end of the tunnel, it's been inside them the whole time. And now finally, it's breaking through. Let it, don't dim yourself anymore. Don't edit your spirit, to fit into places you've outgrown. You are evolving, let it be holy. Your mother's final words in this moment, aren't filled with instruction, but invitation. She says, live. Not half alive, not waiting for the other shoe to drop, truly live. Let laughter be your medicine, let stillness be your sanctuary, let love, real love, be your revolution. Because she's with you, closer than breath, closer than thought. In every sunrise, in every quiet moment, where peace settles over you like a blanket, she is there. Still cheering you on, still believing in your future, still whispering your name, like a promise heaven fully intends to keep. So walk forward now, not just with memory, but with presence. Let what you've survived be the soil, for what you're about to bloom into. Because the world needs what only you carry. And heaven has already made room for it. The shift has begun, and it's beautiful. And as you begin to notice these signs, those quiet confirmations, that your heart is still connected to hers, you'll realize that nothing has truly been lost. You'll sense her in the way peace suddenly wraps around you on the hardest days, in the warmth that arrives without reason, in the words that come to your spirit, just when you need them most. These are not coincidences, these are her love, her prayers, her presence, woven through your everyday moments, like threads of gold, in the fabric of your life. She says, keep walking, keep trusting, keep your heart open, even when it's easier to close. Because I am still with you, guiding you through grace, through memory, through love that never ends. And as the heavens lean in closer, she places one final kiss upon your soul, a kiss only felt by the Spirit, but eternal in its depth. You were never alone, and you never will be. Amen.